Rules for thee and not for me. Not sure how many times I've said that slogan of the past 18 months, but sure seems like a lot. The latest hypocritical political leader, DC Mayor Muriel Bowser. She was seen at a wedding reception maskless less than 24 hours after reinstating an indoor mask mandate regardless of vaccination status. Her office said she took the mask off to eat. Right, sure. Let's bring in the reporter who broke this story, our own contributor here at the First TV and Washington Examiner commentary writer, Tiana Lowe. Tiana, what happened?
Hi, Buck. So I got a tip that Bowser was at this wedding in Adams Morgan, and I actually know that hotel pretty well. And I was able to scope out the name of the couple, and I showed up. The thing that was astounding to me was the fact that, there's probably somewhere between 150 people to 200 people, most of whom were not wearing masks, dozens of wait staff. And Bowser was in the corner, very, very visible. And I was shocked that not one person had already tweeted about it, right? It seemed like such an obvious Marie Antoinette style moment, like let them wear masks, but not me. And so obviously I got the photo and I got the footage. And then when I went up to her, when she was standing and then had put on a mask, I asked her why she was clearly sitting there for 10 minutes that I was observing, not wearing a mask. And she had her security retinue with her sort of push me aside and just refused to answer.
So just so we're clear, you were there, you broke this story, and she wasn't wearing, she was indoors without a mask on after being the mayor, who, in my mind, almost in lunatic fashion now for any of these mayors who actually do this stuff, given the actual numbers for hospitalizations and all this. And this is a photo you took. You can kind of see there in the background what's going on. So she wasn't wearing a mask and she doesn't care. This is the statement from Bowser's office. I wanted to have you react to it because you saw what actually happened. On Saturday, July 31st, Mayor Bowser officiated an outdoor rooftop wedding ceremony followed by an indoor dinner. The mayor wore a mask indoors in compliance with the mandate, and the organizers and venue staff worked to create a safe environment for the staff and its guests. Tina, sounds to me like you're saying the mayor of DC is lying.
Yes, and as the video that I took that we have shows, she is sitting there for, 15 seconds with no mask on, no drink in hand, no fork in hand. It's clear that she just, if she planned to officiate this wedding and attend, and then also put in the mask mandate for Saturday morning at 5 a.m., she knew that by Saturday evening, by 9 p.m., that she was going to violate her own order, which either means she's a moron or she's a liar who knows that these indoor mask mandates don't matter. Look, Mayor Bowser's probably fully vaccinated. She's the one who's pushing the mask mandate on everyone, including the vaccinated, including people with antibodies. But she knows it is garbage. She would not be sitting there without the mask if she thought it actually helped her protect herself from COVID.
We actually have the footage you took of asking her what's going on. Let's hear it.
Mayor Bowser, how long have you been a Chicago fan? Mayor Bowser, what's your response to the backlash about you not wearing a mask?
I got guns.
Homeless people, Mayor Bowser.
Sorry, clearly not you, Tina, but another, after you broke the story, other journalists asking, no comment from her. It seems pretty clear to me that she just got caught and they're just going to pretend like it doesn't matter. Is that really where we are? Wait, I'm sorry. We do have CNN offering up this defense. We can play that.
Here's the thing, right? She wasn't actually, as far as we know, violating the new rules, correct?
I think that is fair to say. I look at the photo and I see it. It seems like it could be during the toast, right? Everyone's heads are pointed in a certain direction. It seems like maybe they are listening to someone, is what it appears to me. I do wonder for a politician like Mayor Bowser if it's just better to, err on the side of being conservative when it comes to mask use.
Wow, what amazing intellectual gymnastics there from CNN, coming up with defenses that the mayor herself has not made, as far as I understand it.
Yes, and a CNN reporter was at that wedding. And then after I broke this story, posted the photo of her officiating the actual service outside. to act as though the indoor part didn't happen. And so that's the thing. This is a wedding that I was not invited to, that I showed up to as in my job as a journalist to report the news. And there was an actual CNN journalist there who could have broken the story instead of me and chose not to.
That is unsurprising, but certainly worth everybody knowing, considering that CNN alleges that it commits the act of journalism on at least on a semi-regular basis, although I'd argue that's really not true. Just to remind everybody, I mean, we've got Nancy Pelosi, who was maskless in a salon back in the day, earlier in the pandemic. We all remember this. And then it was a setup or something, right? Because, got to make sure Nancy's got all the different accoutrement of trying to remind people that she's not basically 80 years old and the most powerful member of Congress. And you also had Gavin Newsom, who was maskless at French Laundry after putting, there we go. Tiana, I got to say, at this point, it's really not possible for people to argue that there's not a lot of hypocrisy, specifically from the people that are the most insistent on mask mandates.
Oh, of course, because here's the thing. The pajama class can outsource all of their labor to Uber Eats drivers and Postmates pickup and Instacart while sitting at home, zooming into all their cars behind a MacBook. Their lives were not made worse by the pandemic. You have people in the media openly saying they want forever masking. They want zero COVID, as a facade so they can keep all of these things. They don't want to go back into the office. You know who's freaking out the most about the mask mandates in DC? Bar owners, yoga studio owners, people whose profit margins in the best of times are already razor thin and now know their businesses could shut down. They barely survived the first time if they did at all. And that's one of the main concerns in DC. And so that's why I was so, livid as I was recording this. And I knew that I wanted to call the mayor out on it, not just to do my job, but also because these mask mandates have actual consequences outside of the ruling class. It's just the elites who don't care because they aren't actually affected by it.
Speaking of the elites, the former President Obama is planning a 500-person birthday party in Martha's Vineyard. Look, the guy's got a $12 million house. He's really very fancy. He's got Smashing Pumpkins, a kind of overrated 90s band that'll be playing. Celebrities like Clooney, and I don't know, name somebody famous. I'm sure if they're really famous, they'll probably be there. Nice house, I got to say, for the Obamas. Let me just say, nice house, just period. It's amazing. I mean, I'm actually looking at it with some degree of envy. I kind of want a $12 million beach house too in Martha's Vineyard. Anyway, point here being, I have no problem with a guy throwing a big party. It's America. But if Ron DeSantis were throwing a 500-person birthday party that would be partially indoors, I have a feeling the media would suggest that it was an act of human sacrifice from COVID.
Not only an act of human sacrifice, an experiment in human sacrifice, but also the idea would be that it's about not taking the pandemic seriously. Look, Obama and his friends probably are all fully vaccinated, and the bulk of this thing is going to be outdoors. It's not that that is wrong to have. It's that why can't the messaging be, we are now past COVID. Yes. I mean, the fact is, if we look at these rates, especially, in a place like DC, where we have had four people of the 400,000 fully vaccinated who have died of COVID. The pandemic is over. You can either choose to get the vaccine or not. And Obama shouldn't be shamed for having this party. But the fact that he has been complicit in the messaging that this thing is not over, right? That it's not about take the vaccine, get tested, whatnot. And then even today, Jen Psaki, when asked about it, she couldn't even respond with, is it fine for everyone else to host an outdoor party with their 600 closest friends? She couldn't endorse the idea because they know it is so antithetical to the messaging that they're doing right now. Yeah, messaging that, quite frankly, disincentivizes vaccine uptakes.
It's all just depends on what they want in the moment. No standards at play. Good to see you, Tiana. Great work breaking this. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Buck.